Here's a demonstration of how to locate wheels on your vehicle. So we'll create a new model. And I'll create a link. I'll create a torus. I want the wheel to rotate a little bit, 90 degrees. So I select it. Move it. I want to rotate it about. A marker is a coordinate system. Part 3, center of mass. So I'm going to rotate it about its own center of mass. I'm not sure if it's Y. I can't see the X, Y, Z. So I'm just going to experiment with them until I get it right. That looks like I got it right. Rotated about the Y. I'm going to put a axis, rotation axis through here. It's a connector. It's a revolute joint. It's a hinge. I'm going to set the axis as a geometry feature. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, they asked me down here at the bottom, as you see, it says to select the first body. So it'll be the green torus, and the second body is this part. That's asking me for the location of the hinge, and I would like to pick this center of mass of the green. So I get close and I right click. It gives me a list of things that are nearby. I want the center of mass. Now it's asking for the direction for the axis, and I would like it to be pointed out straight out this direction. So we'll right click. There we go. So that's the axis of it. I say OK. And there's your hinge. So from the front, you see the hinge. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to save it. Just in case it crashes. Okay, the next thing I intend to do is to build or put a torque wheel so that the wheel will turn. So let's go to forces. I'm going to use a single component torque. This is kind of weird the way you have to do it. What you really want is two bodies, but there's a issue trying to establish the direction of the torque vector. So what the workaround is to use body fixed. What that will do is put a torque, and when a body moves, the direction of the torque moves with it. So we want body fixed. The construction is I'm going to pick a feature just like I did before. You can put a variable or whatever. In this case, I'm going to use a constant torque, and we'll use a torque of 3. All right, so pick feature. Select the body. Okay, I'm going to put the torque on the green body, so I'm going to select that body. The point of application, I'm going to choose the center of mass of the torus. So I get close. You can see I'm getting close there. I'm going to right click and select the center of mass. And now it's asking me for the direction for the torque. So I'm going to select the center of mass in the X direction. You can see that that's along the axis. And so a positive torque is shown with this arrow. So positive torque is going to make it, if you're looking from the end of the axis, positive torque will rotate the green disc counterclockwise. Okay, now after you do that, what you want to do is select it. So I'll right click and I will select the torque. I'll modify it. And for the direction, what you're going to do is select that and go down to between two bodies. And you'll have to specify the action body. That's going to be the body it pushes against. So I double click on that one and it pops up, and part 2 is the part that I want. So I select that one and then say OK. Oh, I'm sorry, the action body is the green part. So I made a mistake there. So the action body is part 3, the green one. The reaction body is what I push against. That's part 2. Okay, I think I got this one right now. There we go. So now you have 2 headed arrow because I don't know why, but they're indicating that that's the green guy is pushing against the red one. Before I can simulate this, if I were to simulate this, the whole thing would just fall because gravity is pulling on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock down the red piece temporarily. So I'm going to go to connectors. I'm going to pick the lock. The construction looks fine. First body is part 2, the red one. The second body is just anywhere out here, and you'll see ground pop up. And the location, I'm going to put it at the center of mass. Oops, I right clicked. I should have just clicked. Okay, so there it's locked down. Now if you apply a simulation, let me save it. Let's do a simulation. I like to simulate with a step size. I just feel like I know a little bit more about what that's happening. You've had engineering analysis, I'm sure, part 2, and so they would explain what the step size has to do with the numerical integration. We'll run it. And you see the green body turn. Okay. So you can rewind it if you like. Let's get rid of this window. The next thing that I want to do is to create a surface for this to roll on. Let's see, we'll save it. All right, so a surface for it to roll on. I'm going to get to the front view, and let's see. I'm going to select a body, do a rigid body, a block. We're going to put it. We'll put it on the ground. Okay, we'll give it a decent length. The height is, we'll give it a small one. The depth, we'll give it a large depth as well. Okay, and so here we go. There's my floor. We'll put it below the guy. There we go. All right, now let's take a look at it. And from the top, you can see my guy. Okay, so what I'd like to do is to move, well, let me pause. I should not have locked it to the ground because I don't think I'm going to be able to move it. Well, let's see. I'll see if I can select it. The box. We'll select it, and we'll try to move it. And so let's see. I want to move it. Let's see, relative to the screen. And we'll translate. Yeah, okay, we're able to move it. What do you know? So we'll give it, say, 20 at a time. I'm going to move it down a little bit. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Okay. That's close enough. That's good enough. Whoops. There we go. All right. So this guy's in the middle. Let's get a isometric again. What I'd like to do is I'd like to make this object, the red and the green, set on top of this other one. So I'm just going to go to the side view so I can see it a little bit better. It's not too far. And zoom in a little bit. So here's what I want to do. I want to create a contact force, which is right here. It's under forces, and you know, it's a funny icon. So I'm going to select that. The window pops up, and there's several types of contact it can do. I'm going to do a solid to solid because I've got a white surface, and I've got these other guys that are solids. So I'm going to have them contact. The eye solid is going to be, well, I like to choose the moving one. So that'll be my torus. And then the J, double click, is the ground. So box 4 on the ground. The type of contact, I believe you want to try and use a restitution. Experiment with that. The coefficient of restitution, I'm going to set it to be 0 because I'm going to let this thing fall onto the floor until it makes contact. And then you can also specify friction force if you want. That's up to you. Okay, and so there's my contact between the green and the floor. All right, so now I'm going to also do one for the red guy. So I'm going to create another contact. This one is going to go from part 2, the cylinder, and it's going to go to the same ground surface, the box. And do a restitution, same values. This one I'm going to say hesitation. Okay, and so now let's see. Let's do, okay, let me take off this lock so the thing will fall. And so connectors, joint 2, I think, yep, there it is. And I'm going to deactivate it. You probably just delete it. So this one is deactivated now. So if I simulate, yeah, I didn't see anything fall. Again from the end. Must have that lock still in there. So let's go see joint. Oops, joint 1. Alright, so now I took away the lock. Gravity's down. Let's see what happens. There we go. Alright. So let me, I want to redo this. I'm going to temporarily set the tool to 0. Let's see, forces. Okay, force, modify, set it equal to 0, hit OK, rewind it, and simulate. Boom, boom. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, it's all stationary now. I'm just going to stop it. Okay, what I'm going to do is click right here. Now that I've simulated it for a little while, I'm going to save the model with this new starting point. So I'll click on this one. And what do I want to call it? I'm going to call it, the new model will be on ground. And we say OK. So if you look at it, you can see that the link is on the ground, and so is this green guy. So now what I'm going to do is get this out of the way. I'm going to save it just in case the thing crashes. And I'm going to put that torque back on. So I'll go back over here. I'm going to modify it. I right clicked, say modify, and we'll put it back in. Let's see, 30 didn't seem to do much. I'll put in 100. Say OK. And let's watch what it does now. Look in from the side. All right,